Since we passed tax cuts, roughly 3 million workers have already gotten tax cut bonuses, many of them thousands of dollars per worker, says President Trump. After the corporation tax cut was announced, a number of firms announced bonuses for staff. For example, Disney announced a one-time bonus of $1,000 for 125,000 staff. Fiat Chrysler Automobiles said 60,000 employees would get an extra $2,000. The lobbying group Americans for Tax Reform, ATR, which campaigns for simpler and lower taxes, has kept a tally of all bonuses. It says 285 firms have announced pay raises, bonuses or other improved benefits, which the firms attribute to the tax cuts. ATR says at least 3 million workers will benefit. It's impossible to know how companies would have acted without the tax cuts, and how many are crediting the Republicans for something already planned. Getty Images. Mr. Kennedy has drawn attention with his Trump-bashing speech. As a member of the party opposing the president traditionally delivers a rebuttal to the State of the Union speech only minutes after the president finishes speaking. The Democrats have selected Massachusetts Congressman Joe Kennedy, 37, who plans to tout the achievements of immigrants. Bullies may land a punch. They might leave a mark. But they have never, not once, in the history of our United States, managed to match the strength and spirit of a people united in defense of their future, he plans to say, according to excerpts released by his office. Read our profile of Kennedy here. A new Kennedy in the political spotlight. Getty Images. All eyes will be on Melania Trump, the president's wife, who has been notably absent from the public in recent weeks. She will be hosting 15 guests in her own viewing box. The First Lady abruptly cancelled her plans to travel to Davos, Switzerland, with her husband last week, and their wedding anniversary passed without any public comment. Her disappearance follows a report by The Wall Street Journal that a lawyer for Trump paid porn actress Stormy Daniels $130,000 to keep private an affair which allegedly took place only months after the birth of their son. The White House has denied the allegations. A spokeswoman for the First Lady blasted the report as a laundry list of salacious. Getty Images hasn't been seen publicly with her husband in 2 weeks. Women's rights group Ultraviolet is projecting a protest slogan on the Trump International Hotel, which the president's motorcade will pass on its way from the White House to the U.S. Capitol in less than an hour. They are calling on Congress to investigate several allegations of sexual assault against Mr. Trump. They aren't the first group to use Trump's hotel as a political backdrop. In June, artist Robin Bell told BBC News about how she projects political messages onto the Trump Hotel, as well as the World Bank and FBI headquarters. The artist trolling the Trump administration. The president is expected to say, struggling communities, especially immigrant communities, will also be helped by immigration policies that focus on the best interests of American workers and American families. Immigration has been a divisive issue. The children who are brought illegally to the U.S. from other countries, known as Dreamers, risk losing their legal ability to remain in the U.S., a country where many of them lived for their entire adult lives. Life in the U.S. is like a roller coaster, says one man. Hear what they want politicians in Washington know about their lives. DACA recipients ask President Trump to let us dream. There was a mad dash to reprint tickets ahead of the State of the Union when lawmakers pointed out a glaring typo. The tickets invited people to attend President Donald Trump's State of the Union. Senator Marco Rubio was among many attendees who poked fun at the mistake on Twitter, which was made by the Office of the Sergeant-at-Arms of the U.S. House of Representatives. Two Arizona Republicans are quarreling on social media over one congressman's call to US Capitol Police requesting they check the immigration status of tonight's attendees. At least 28 Democrats are bringing so-called Dreamers, who risk losing their legal U.S. residency in March, as their guests at the speech. Representative Paul Gosar tweeted that he'd asked the police who guard Capitol Hill to consider checking identification of all attending the State of the Union address and arresting any illegal aliens in attendance. Of all the places where the rule of law needs to be enforced, it should be in the hallowed halls of Congress. Any illegal aliens attempting to go through security, under any pretext of invitation or otherwise, should be arrested and deported, said Gosar. In response, Senator Jeff Flake wrote, "This is why we can't have nice things. Where can U.S. border agents lawfully search you?" Getty Images. Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue has been selected to skip the State of the Union in order to be the designated survivor in case disaster strikes Congress during Trump's speech. Last year, Veterans Affairs Secretary David Shulkin was assigned to watch the speech from an undisclosed secure location. Former designated survivor Jim Nicholson told NBC News that the experience can be very sobering. One part of it seems totally unrealistic. Then there's a certain realism that sets in and you have to take it seriously, the former Veterans Affairs Secretary said. Using the hashtag #Don'tDVR or watch it live, tweeted one supporter of the idea. According to excerpts of his speech released by the White House, the president will take credit for the positive economic figures of his first year. Since we passed tax cuts, roughly 3 million workers have already gotten tax cut bonuses, many of them thousands of dollars per worker. This is our new American moment. There has never been a better time to start living the American dream. Many Republicans are in agreement that the economy should be a central message tonight. A group of at least 8 House Democrats are planning to boycott tonight's speech. "Why would I take my time to go sit and listen to a liar?" said Representative Maxine Waters. A former top advisor to Obama criticizes their choice, recalling an episode from one of President Obama's first speeches in which a Republican lawmaker shouted, "You lie." At a lunch with U.S. news anchors before tonight's speech, President Trump was asked what he has learned after his first year in office. The real estate mogul told them that as a businessman, he only had to do what was best for himself, almost purely for monetary reasons. But now as a politician, doing what I'm doing now, a lot of it is heart, a lot of it is compassion, he said. Oftentimes you do things that you would never do in business because you have to also govern with heart. He also said he wanted to bring our country back from a tremendous divisiveness, without a major event where people pull together. That's hard to do, he continued. But I'd like to do it without that major event, because usually that major event is not a good thing. I would love to do it. Getty Images. We are now standing by for U.S. President Donald Trump, who is due to speak at 2100 2 o'clock GMT. He'll be addressing Democrats and Republicans in both houses of Congress in his State of the Union speech, which the president is required to deliver from time to time, according to the U.S. Constitution. Here are the 6 things to watch for tonight.